long-awaited debut of our American Heiress. She will be setting stage tomorrow at Gulfstream Park. It is a huge card, a 14-race card, which is highlighted by the Curlin Florida Derby. It's the 14th race on the card, but for our race, our featured event will be smack dab in the middle, and American Heiress will be going postward in race number 7. She's post position number 9. She's been dispatched as your second choice at 4-1. So, Joe Mishak, you've had an opportunity not only to keep tabs on her workouts, but has she not been breezing with Cadencia, who's been dispatched as your 7-2 morning line favorite?
She did. She her latest work was with Cadencia, and quite frankly, I think American Heiress kind of got the best of her a little bit. Obviously, Cadencia is the most experienced filly of the field with I believe 5 career starts and some of the highest figures. So it was kind of nice to see a filly that has some nice running lines established, and then our filly who hasn't obviously made a start yet go kind of toe to toe in a little pre-race matchup. Obviously, as we've alluded to in this show in the past, some of these bigger barns in the mornings, they kind of are their own little match races, to get them to where they are on race day. So very, very fun, very exciting to see, and very encouraged by how in hand American Heiress has been in most of her workouts. Definitely a filly that kind of does it all on her own, and looks like that she has a lot left in the tank. I mean, something that excited to see, considering that we're debuting around 2 turns and not sprinting first time out.
Well, out of a multiple graded stake winning dam, Kirtana, who won in excess of $1 million in her career and was a multiple graded stakes winner, she didn't break her maiden until career start number 3. Incidentally, it was a race that was taken off the turf at Arlington Park back in 2008. Tom Proctor, the trainer of note. Kirtana, she's had 2 foals to race, 2 winners. American Heiress will be the 3rd. Joe Moran, from a wagering standpoint, we know that due to her popularity and the 2,000-plus partners, likely we're not going to get much bargain on the top end. But when you look at this race, knowing what the American Pharaohs have done on turf, early on, he's 10% as a first-out win sire. With the pace dynamic of this race, I think there's some speed. How do you see things setting up? And at 1.16 miles on turf, would you expect her to be forwardly placed on debut?
It's a very tough question for me to answer. I mean, a first-time starter, you just truly never know. From her works, we've been impressed. If you've tuned into the Wednesday work show, every time she's worked, she's caught our eye. But a first-time starter going 1.16 miles, training styles are a little bit different in Florida. I'm a California boy. I'm born and raised in Southern California, and the training styles in Southern California. The one thing for me, and obviously I'm a rooter of American Heiress, but the one thing that's hard for me to truly grasp is she's going 1.16 miles, first time out. She has not worked above a half mile. So to me, that's the only concern that I can see. But Hall of Fame trainer Todd Pletcher, he knows what he's doing. He knows this horse is ready. When you see her work, she looks plenty fit. She does it all in hand. But to me, that's one of the biggest concerns. So from a pace dynamic, she seems pretty keen in her works to go. So I think she is going to show some type of early speed. I don't think she's going to be on the front end by any means, but I think she'll be in a tactical position.
All right. Joe Mishak, as you look at the overall basis of the field, is there one particular horse that stands out in your mind? It is interesting to note that she comes in with the highest price tag. Do note that you do have the 5-horse, No Ordinary Time, who's had 3 starts to break its maiden, Shug McGahee, training for the Allen Stable Incorporated. On paper, I think she's the one to beat. I do like that recent workout at Payson. But who do you think is the horse to beat in this case? And would you expect the Christophe Clement trainee community adjusted to move forward?
I would on both situations. The 5-horse No Ordinary Time is a horse that I did also put underneath is one I expect to be forwardly placed and hopefully provide a target for American Heiress. I expect American Heiress to break well. I think it's a perfect setup for her to get that first race experience. I think she'll be on the outside, so she'll lose a little bit of ground, I think, but she'll sit a perfect stalking spot. And I also like the 12-horse Unshakable You. If you look, the last time she moved up first time on turf. She popped her best race of her career, so maybe turf was just what the doctor ordered in that race. And I would say the Clement horse, obviously, coming off the layoff at Saratoga. Anytime you get Tyler Gaffleone going on the turf, it's always a positive experience for that horse. Certainly rides the Gulfstream turf better than anyone I call in recent memory. But to just go back to Joe Moran's comment, because as I was poring over the past performances, I was thinking the same exact thing in terms of training on the East Coast versus the West Coast. And I noticed that not only American Heiress, but also a lot of these other fillies in this race haven't gone past half-mile workouts. And from a training perspective, Nick, can you shed some light into the shareholders out there of the two different maybe training styles that you might get out on different coasts, why you're not seeing maybe 5-6 furlong works before a two-turn race?
Well, I think first and foremost, if you look at the style of training for, say, for example, Todd Pletcher and even Christophe Clement in that case, as we kind of allude back to a quick conversation in her debut, which was quite nice here a few weeks back. I think it's twofold. The fact that she is actually going turf first time out, the feeling is that you may not need, and turf long, mind you, but you may not need as much from a work standpoint as you do from a foundational gallop standpoint. There are many of those trainers that train, whether it's East or West, but primarily in the East, they tend to get a lot more out of their gallops, essentially more 2-minute licks or 2-minute miles, if you will, as opposed to just a 1.25 mile conventional 1.25 mile, 1.5 mile gallop. So I think in Todd Pletcher's case, I think he's relying heavily upon the fact that she's had that foundation. And once again, kudos to King's Equine. And look, if she weren't fit in his mind to get 1 1/16 on turf first time out, she wouldn't be in this particular race. Now, the best part of this situation is that we have no idea what we have. I mean, it's the old box of chocolates, right? We anticipate her to run well. We hope that she'll go out there and run a winning race. But I think from a training perspective, it really comes down to the day-to-day versus the actual workouts that Todd gets out of his horses. We saw that with his mentor, D. Wayne Lucas, back in the day.
Great, 100%.
All right, so don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, post time approximately 2:27 Eastern. That's 11:27 here on the left coast. We'll have a live show which kicks off at approximately 11 o'clock. I'll be here, I'll be there right with you, and of course, we'll be interactive showing. So feel free to set your reminders, set your alarms, and let's hope that American Heiress gets a good night's rest tonight, and she'll come out firing on all cylinders tomorrow. Joe Mishak,